Why boys never remember and girls never forget. Gender does matter. Mother Nature is clever and suited us for our survival roles. Did you know that girls have more language centers on both sides of their brain? Queen bees, wannabes are girls-like relationship connections of inclusivity and exclusivity, while hunter warrior boys like competitive games with clear winners and losers. Recent brain research suggests differentiated teaching provokes positive conversations. Inclusivity is healing. Our kids need to trust that they have a safe place to connect. Be smarter together for success in an uncertain world. We stand on the shoulders of those who have given their gifts to the world. When Albert Einstein was asked at the end of his life what he thought was the most important question, he replied, "Is it a friendly universe within and without?" By being a proactive versus reactive, we create a new positive pattern of thinking that leads to raised self-esteem and more positive outcomes and a reduction of fear and depression. Acting differently is a way of establishing a new pattern. Focusing our energy and discovering our strengths gives promise to a new way of whole brain thinking. Heart to heart. Hope and change to be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Oscar Wilde. What works? Messy diversity. All children learn differently, yet we tend to treat them as if they are the same. Good thinkers aren't born, they just love learning. Some people are thinkers and others are talkers. Some are guided by their feelings while some see the way things work. These ways of thinking are available to all of us. One student said, "I'm actually paying attention to my brain because thinking is good for you." Two opportunities that engage teachers as learners provide greater potential for having a positive influence on students' learning. Number one, learning is most essential for teachers on an adult level. Learning is best achieved by addressing questions and content of interest to them. Number two, the second element involves how learning will transfer to the differentiated classroom. This style of adult learning is what communication technology fosters in all its professional development work in continuing education for teachers. These distant learning courses help you meet your goals, letting you earn academic credit at your own pace as you find out how to reach all types of students. IQ tests tell you what you can do. Personality tests tell you what you want to do. The Synergy Pals really cool new quiz measures what you will or won't do. Did you know everybody is good at something? When we make our differences work together, that's synergy. Almost nothing is left to chance, which is not so much a guarantee of success as it is a reduction of the cost of failure. We know from research we work better when we work in a way that is natural to our strengths. We can teach skills, yet we can't teach instincts. Discovering our natural strengths maximizes how we adapt and change creatively by reducing stress and experiencing the joy of accomplishment. Ask whether a student is excited about coming to school. Ask the kinds of questions a student asks in class discussions. Observe the way they mull over a problem before generating a response. Artist wondered how she had evidence concerning whether a child was learning. In her experience, there were children who perceived and could manipulate objects with great spatial acuity, whether in 3 dimensions or their mind. Both girls and boys possessed this skill with great ability. Still, others had trouble with the simplest of concrete or abstract exercises in spatial relations. Some had a musical ear, while others were tone deaf. Some gained energy and insight through interactions with peers, and others needed time alone to thoroughly process information. These observable differences suggested to her that a number of different approaches would allow for broader points of entry for learners. The evidence comes through years of practical experience, from viewing the learner in a context over time, not from a snapshot derived through testing or a single data point. What have you observed in your classroom? What do you think about learning styles? Artist has captured these differences in this Friendly Universe collection. Turning Points is a journey of self-discovery. We're all connected, and we're all different. We're a part of something larger than ourselves. Here's the friendly universe solution. As we deepen our circle of friends, we learn to think thoughts that make us smarter. Playing and laughing together, we get far greater creative results. Research found highly creative adults tended to grow up in families embodying opposites. Parents encouraged uniqueness, yet provided stability. They were highly responsive to kids' needs, yet challenged kids to develop skills. This resulted in a sort of adaptability. Number 1, in times of anxiousness, clear rules could reduce chaos. Number 2, when kids were bored, they could seek change too. In the space between anxiety and boredom was where creativity flourished. It's also true that highly creative adults frequently grew up with hardship. Hardship by itself doesn't lead to creativity, but it does force kids to become more flexible, and flexibility helps with creativity. Enjoy the little things in life, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. Every perceptive teacher sees a diversity of strengths and weaknesses in each of her students. Teachers are essential for creating intelligent people. The idea of intelligence is too subjective to be proven, but it shows that a kaleidoscope of ability is mapped in our brains, and that, with the help of brain imaging technology, these are variations of intelligences that we can actually see. Recent brain research shows that complex abilities apparent in individual kids are reflected on the inside as well as the outside. Part of the brain involved in reading, math, music, and personal relationships are different, larger or smaller, more or less active in every child. These circuits are independent, so even if a child struggles in one domain, like reading, he may have a neurological advantage in others. And perhaps the most surprising, scientists have established that learning and practicing certain skills can cause the corresponding brain areas to morph and grow. In other words, by helping a child hone her abilities, you can actually change her brain. To be most effective, professional development should include 4 important elements for the experience to be useful and engaging. With Synergy Pals, we learn to use our common senses. Think, look, talk, feel. To do this, we must increase the depth of teachers' understanding through inquiry experiences that enrich the possibility of classroom learning for all students. It's a pretty fascinating time now to use both sides of your brain for divergent ideas and convergent skills thinking. You need both to use your brain for a change. We need to feel safe to learn. That is essential. The truth is, words do hurt. Being conscious, deliberate, and intentional about what we say and what we think raises our awareness, and we make a choice to act differently. If we take words or actions personally, it can feel negative, discouraging, disempowering, or we can choose this opportunity to gain insight. Some students refer to themselves as their own worst critic, but never as their own best friend. The inner critic is referred to by many different names, but most agree it can be directly linked to childhood experiences. Interacting with teachers, we may imitate the parenting we received. One of the ways that shows up is as that critical inner voice. Families can be challenging. Sometimes the hurt lingers from empathy shortcomings with families, not strangers. The good news is we can actually change our inner self-talk, and we can change what we say. The solution? Transformed anger, the surprising purpose of anger. In this course, you deal with safety and forgiveness. You may not be able to change your life conditions, yet you can be proud of facing problems. You can control what to do with emotional fitness, psychological strength. Stand up for yourself in that one important moment in your life. The boisterous sea of liberty is never without waves. Like a ship tossed at sea, some see themselves buffeted by external circumstances, a tiny object subject to the whims of chance. Most people struggle through life simply reacting to the events around them, oblivious to the fact that they help create those events. Our number one issue is to reach children's brains. With many children, nothing is wrong with their brains, yet everything is wrong with their thinking. Chance favors connected minds to put things together. that makes sense for far greater results. Remember, optimists create all the inventions, but not without the help of pessimists. We need each other. However, nothing is going to change without action. And what is going to determine that? Movers and shakers. We live in an amazing time. Success leaves clues. Mother Nature is clever. The real secret is to focus and then take action to make it happen. All story creations are always about transformation. To change the stories people tell themselves, we change in an instant what they are and can become. We live two lives. One we live. One we learn from. Your story is a journey of feelings. Understand how information received by our senses becomes hardwired. Since the dawn of civilization, 3 newly invented tools drove social revolutions to move our human story forward: the plow, the steam engine, the microchip, and now the 4th, brain-based learning. Neuroscience and our human nature are leading us again through the gates of imagination to begin the world over again. Master the inside world first, then take control of the outside world. We need a different focus when it seems all is coming apart. Change state. The emotional muscle we all need to feel fit. However, nothing is going to change without focus and taking action. What is going to determine that? Believe in yourself. Go with whatever works. People that care. Meaning in the journey and new approaches to immortality haunt us. Ask Henry Adams' question: what part of your education was useful and what not?